This program is rated PG. It contains themes and scenes which may not be suitable for very young audiences. Parental guidance is advised.
Be advised that the views and opinions of the hosts and guests do not reflect those of the station.
Welcome to Usapang Bayan. Ako po si George Chua kasama ang aking co-host na si Rich Marquez. Pag-uusapan po natin ang iba't ibang issue na kinahaharap ng mga namumuno sa ating gobyerno at tatalakayin din po natin ang iba pang mga pangyayari sa ating bayan.
Ikinagagalak po naming makapanayam para sa gabing ito para sa ating Boto ni Juan series. Isa po sa mga tumatakbo para sa pagkasenador sa darating na eleksyon, former AFP Chief General Dionisio Santiago. Welcome to the show, sir.
Welcome to the show, General Santiago.
Good morning, General Santiago po ito. Magandang umaga and thank you for giving me this opportunity to be with you this evening.
Alam niyo po, si General Santiago po ay tatakbo bilang senador ng ating bayan, no? Under the party of presidential candidate Duterte, no?
Yes.
And ang nailagay niya ho sa kanyang certificate of candidacy, ang pangalan niya ho doon ay General Dionix. Kaya kung hahanapin niyo ho kung saan niyo i-check yun, tandaan niyo lang po, General Dionix ang kanyang ilalagay doon.
Thank you.
Siguro ho, umpisan ho natin para ho doon sa ating mga kababayan na medyo nakakabata at hindi ho kayo natatandaan bilang PIDEA Chief at saka AFP Chief of Staff. Sino ho ba si General Santiago?
Ako po ay tubong na botas. Medyo meron na rin, nag-mature na ho. Nag-mature na. Ako ay tubong na botas. Nag-graduate ako sa public school product ako. Nabotas Elementary School, High School, Arellano University, yung branch ng Jose Rizal High School. Tapos I studied sa Mapua ng Mechanical Engineering. For third year Mechanical Engineering student ako. Before I joined the Philippine Military Academy. I graduated in 1970. Ang mga medyo kilalang mga kaklase ko, sila General Ebdanes, na Governor of Zambales, Irwin Ber, Paraino, mga yan ang aking mga kasabayan sa klase. Si Abaya was also our classmate before he joined West Point. Pagkatapos that, after I was na-assign ako sa military, I have moved around the archipelago. I started my career as a military officer sa Davao, Cagayan de Oro, 4th Infantry Division. Then I was moved to Davao. Then we saw action in Cotabato nung unang sumiklab yung gulo sa Mindanao. Kami yung na-involved sa Buldon Offensive. After that, I was assigned to Manila. And from there, I have worked as a military officer, but detailed to several offices. Sa Foreign Affairs, I was there. Kami nag-start ng Travel Clearance Branch ng mag-martial law. I was with Metrocom ng mag-martial law. Pero kami mababait na Metrocom. Pagkatapos noon, nagpaikot-ikot na. I was assigned eventually. Kami nag-start ng computer service ng NISA noon, now NICA. Kami nag-start niya, kami mga officers noon. Then I was assigned in Malaysia as an assistant commercial attaché. I was there for 3 years. Then I was moved to Seattle, Washington, sa ating konsulado sa Seattle, where I serve as an attaché of the Department of Foreign Affairs. And that's where I finished my Masteral in Public Administration. Although I attended courses dito sa UP when I was detailed with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs noon. I served with the airport doon and on a trainee basis, OJT, and nasa management ako ng transit. I'm a licensed real estate salesperson, salesperson, the lowest level. I have a license for life in the state of Washington.
Siguro ho, medyo balikan lang ho natin yung military career nyo. Dahil kasi napakainit na issue ho ngayon, yung mga issues natin sa West Philippine Sea. Ano ho ba ang pagkakaiba nung panahon nyo at nung yung kasalukuyan na ating sitwasyon? At nagkakaroon tayo ng ganitong klaseng mga issues.
Hindi ganon ka-interesting ang Philippines. Even tourism-wise, hindi tayo well-known. Kukunti nakaka-realize na the Philippines is a very strategic partner. Our location is very strategic. Even yung American kuwan natin, bago sila lumipad sa ibang kuwan, they pass through the Philippine Air Corridor. Tapos ang insurgency ng panahon namin, mababa pa. Tumaas ng tumaas. Tapos hindi naman ganyan ka-aggressive ang China noon. Hindi ganyan ka-aggressive. So hindi masyadong complicated. And maybe that was the reason why yung ating mga leaders noon took time in modernizing our armed forces. Ang priority, we were never in the priority. Alam nyo naman, military, basta tahimik ang bayan, walang pakialam. Everybody, walang pakialam. We become important pagka nagkakatrouble. Ngayon ang problema, because pinabayaan kami, pag nagkakatrouble, para tayong, ang nangyayari, sa halip na actively participating tayo, meron ang labas natin. And kung saan tayo isway ng bigger powers, doon tayo susunod. Because we are not really prepared. We have not modernized.
Speaking of military forces po, are you in favor of the Visiting Forces Agreement?
Sa akin, reality yan. Ang Amerikano, pag gusto nila, gagawin nila. Pagbayarin ko na lang sila. You pay your occupation of our space. Kasi, alam ka naman makikipag-away tayo, bangka ang gagamitin mo. We don't have our own capability right now.
Sa makatuwid, ang ibig yung sabihin na talagang kailangan pa rin natin ang mga forces nila para makatulong sa ating territorial defense.
Kung wala nang gugulo, hindi natin sila kailangan. May nanggugulo eh. Pagkatahimik, wala tayong pangangailangan sa kanila. Sila may pangangailangan because we have the resources.
That's right.
Ngayon, kailangan pa rin nila ang resources natin. But ang nangyayari kung anong gusto nilang gawin, even politically, I think even our political leaders have to make adjustments even if yung nationalistic spirit nila is there. Ang mga mananaig sa iyo is, how do you do it? You cannot do it alone.
Right.
Para tayo ng tao, hanap ka ng kakampi.
Isa pa hong napakalaking kontrobersya na hinaharap ng ating bayan ngayon ay yung ating drug situation. Kayo ho naging PDEA chief, no? And you had been PDEA chief up to 2010 lamang. Nung kapanahonan na ho yun, palagay ko ang drug situation naman natin, hindi naman umaabot ng masasabi natin ganito kalala ang sitwasyon. Ano ho ba ang ginawa nyo noon na posibleng hindi na nagagawa ngayon kaya lumala ang ating drug problem?
Ayoko magyabang, pero pwede ba magyayabang ako?
Sige lang po, sige lang po.
Mayabang ako. Alam niyo ba degree ko? BSPMA. Alam niyo ba? Anong
ano ho ba?
of BS?
Bachelor of Science.
Hindi. Believe sa sarili.
Okay.
Paano kayo maniniwala sa akin kung hindi ako believe sa sarili ko? But the point is, ayokong sabihin hindi maayos. May efforts tong current administration. Pero noong time ko, walang masyadong intervention sa ginagawa ko eh. And I was allowed to do what I feel is right, provided it is within the bounds of the law. Ako, constitutionalist ako, kaya I go by the rule of law. Ngayon, dito, ang pinagmamalaki ko, nung pasukan ko yung problema na yan, I consulted my friends from both sides of the political, both opposition and admin. Sabi na pumasok ka dyan because drugs affects everybody. Walang pinipili, bata, matanda, babae, lalaki. So, because of that, because I was comfortably sitting as a policy maker, papel lang ng papel yun, mang-away ka kung gusto mo, pero walang barilan. But sabi, I was convinced to assume. Ngayon, pag nag-assume ako ng ganyan mga position, I stake everything, even my own family. Kailangan alam ng kalaban mo na kung patayin lang pamilya mo, okay lang. I told my family that that is my position and they have accepted it. Unang-una, sa military kasama na yun. Kaya noong time ko, medyo takot even the Chinese syndicates. Ang tinatanong nila, nandiyan pa ba si General Santiago? At ang sinagsasabi, mga abogado, ang sabi nila na pag ang kliyente lang nakadakma PIDEA, magpakulong ka na lang. And my organization was adjudged as one of number 9 least corrupt agency of all government agencies of the government. And I'm very happy because I'm with government. Law enforcement pa. Alam niyo naman ang thinking dito, pag law enforcement, automatic, corrupt. But in my case, number 9 least corrupt agency of government.
If you were still PIDEA chief, sir, how would you address this high drug incidence rate po in the country?
Maraming approaches dyan, but not only one. Unang-una, international cooperation is number 1. Because ang mga drogang pumapasok na sa atin ngayon, nanggagaling sa ibang bayan eh. Although may laboratories na rin. Ngayon, I agree doon sa sinasabi ng iba, kung may death sentence mo, pati law enforcement mong mag-i-involve. Or government officials, or even politicians. Na kasi itong drug problem natin, I have to say this, nakikinabang na ibang politiko rito eh. Ako may sinabihan ako, why are you running against this politician? You cannot win because you're fighting drug money. If they are not directly involved as financier, they are protectors, or if not protectors, they are beneficiaries.
Kung sinasabi niyo may mga politicians kayong alam na nai-involve dito sa ating drugs, no? Kung sakali ho kayo ay mahalal na sa Senado, ano ho naman ang gagawin nyo para matigil na natin itong mga involvement ng mga politicians dyan?
Nahuli na yan eh. Ang problema dyan, one step na we can do na mali-legislate. I'm not against the office of the President, but I was under the office of the President na sinuportahan ako. But the thing there are 5 pillars of the justice system. You start with law enforcement, followed by the prosecutor, yung Department of Justice, then the courts, Supreme Court, Court of Appeals, RTCs, followed by the correction system. No? Yung Bureau, where by the way, I was also the head of the Bureau of Corrections. Okay. Then after that is media and the people. Ngayon, dito sa amin sa experience, nagbabakbakan yung dalawa. Yung law enforcement and prosecution. While in the I can detach myself from the office of the President and go to the clout lang naman yan. Lang naman yan. Kaya para lang hindi ka, walang interference eh.
I see.
Dito, pa sa Korean model, the Supreme Prosecutor's Office, which is the equivalent of our Chief State Prosecutor, yung drug law enforcement is under that. So, isang pillar, isang pax, isang controversy na mariremove mo eh. No? Ngayon, yung mga babakuan natin, masyado na maraming nakikialam. May messy, by law, ang PIDEA ang head. Pero in actual practice, it's not easy. When you do interagency, you have the police, which is more powerful because they are in numbers. PIDEA during my time was only 1,000 nationwide. But the police is 120,000, now right. 130. Kaya nung utusan ako ni GMA, tanggalin ng police, I was hesitant. I wanted to use the police, but I want to discipline them. They should be disciplined. And ang isang remedy sa kanila, lifestyle check mo lahat ang nasa gobyerno.
Well, we need to have a station break at this point. But sa amin pong pagbabalik, makakasama pa rin natin si former AFP Chief, PIDEA Chief, and Bucor Chief, General Jonix Santiago. Please stay tuned.